What's going on, everyone? How are you doing today? So in this video I'm going to be introducing you to CSS, which is Cascading Stylesheet. Alright, so let's dig into it. What is CSS? CSS is Cascading Stylesheet. It is W3C standard, started in 1996. Okay, by the way, if you are wondering what is WW Consortium, that is W3C, and W3 means World Wide Web. So WWW Consortium is a group. It's a group that maintains or that give a guidelines on how things should work on the internet. So they've been the one maintaining CSS since 1996. Alright, so CSS describes how the content should be displayed on the browser. CSS provides efficiency in design and updates. CSS is relatively easy to use, can give you more flexibility and control, faster loading pages, and without CSS, HTML pages will be displayed as per the browser default formatting and coloring. Most of the time is plain black and white with some browser defined font size. So CSS basically is for formatting your HTML content. So right now you should be familiar with HTML or have an idea of what HTML is, to take this course. So go and learn about HTML first, then you can come back to this video to to be able to cope well, because CSS depends on HTML code. So without HTML, CSS won't work. So what CSS does is to give your code, your HTML code, more flexibility. It's easy to use. It also makes your page to load faster. So let's see an overview of CSS. So CSS is Cascading Stylesheet. Yes, CSS display HTML content in formatted way. Styles were added to HTML 4.0 to solve a problem. Now, right now we're using HTML5. That is what we are currently in now. So styles has solved a lot of problem. A problem in terms of formatting. Right now, I can't imagine how HTML was before CSS was founded. But anyways, okay, external style sheets are stored in .css files. So you should take note of this, .css files. So just like HTML is stored with .html, CSS is stored in .css. Alright, so that is the extension for the CSS file. So let's see methods of adding CSS now. So to link CSS with HTML, we have three methods for linking CSS with HTML, because they are both different language. So CSS is a styling language, while the HTML is a markup language. So we link the two together. To link them together, we use three methods. We use either of the three methods. Even there are times you can use the three together. Alright, so the first one is externally, second one is internally, and the third one is inline styles. That's inside the tags. So let's see a brief explanation of the three. So okay, now let's see inline CSS. It is directly added in the HTML elements. Even though this is not it's not advisable, because we are going to see the reason why it is not advisable. So the second one is internal CSS, that is using style tags within a single document. The external CSS, linking an external .css file. So let's see one after the other what the style, the linking is. Okay, now so the first one, inline styles. So we insert CSS style that right within the HTML tag that you want to apply them to. It's very quick. The styling or the inline CSS is very quick, however difficult to maintain, very difficult to maintain, because just like what we have here now, h1, then the style equal to, then in the quotation, color blue, margin left 30 pixels, okay, and then the closing. Now this style here and everything inside this quotation is the CSS style. Yes, this is inline method, so it is in line with the HTML elements, HTML tag. You can see it's inside the h1 tag. So and then the thing springs is the content of this h1 tag. So let's see how it is. So let's see the internal CSS or embedded CSS. So it is placed right on top of the page that it will affect. So it is always placed in the head tag. So with style tag is, so everything is going to be inside the style tag. You go see how it looks like very soon, because we're going to be working practically on it. So place right on top of the page that it will affect. Internally create a style sheets. They are more convenient for small web pages. The missing content and style will cause your pages to become unwieldy over time. Yes, because what you do right now using embedded CSS or internal CSS is to combine CSS with HTML code, so which will often make your code to be buggy. So you have much code in one file, whereas we can use so let's see the way it looks like now. You can see the way it is right now. So we're going to work practically on it okay, let's see. So now the external style sheet, now which is the best? Let's see, why use an external style sheet? It keeps your website design and content separate. So what it does is to keep your your HTML file, HTML and CSS code separate. So now the HTML can be, what you just need to do is to link the two together using a link. So what I mean is that you can have a separate file for HTML and then another separate file for CSS, then link the two together using a link, which I'm going to be showing you. So now the CSS code is easier to reuse, so you can reuse your CSS code multiple times. So instead of typing the same CSS code on every web page you have, so you can reuse, so you can have multiple web pages now, maybe like about us page, contact us page, then the home page and many other pages. You can use the same CSS code for the four. So instead of having to be using it, having to rewrite it again, you can reuse just one file. You can use it to control all many pages, or all the pages you have in your website. So many have many pages refer to a single CSS file with the link tag. So see, you have many pages can refer to a single CSS file with the link tag. So you can make massive alterations to your website pages with just a few changes in a single CSS file. So by linking multiple HTML files into one CSS file, you can make adjustments in the CSS file and then to affect all the pages that's linked to the CSS file. Very easy to use. So now let's see the way it works now. So you can see here in the head tag, what you just need to do is to add the head tag now after the title tag or the title element. So just add this link, then you can see link, then relation is style sheet, then the type is test/CSS, and then the href is my style. Okay, so the name of your style, and then the name and the .css, which I spoke of earlier. So let's see the browsers that support CSS3, because currently we are using CSS3. So let's see the browsers that support this CSS3. So we have the Internet Explorer, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, Pramini, so and many others. We have Brave, we have many others. So this is just some of the browsers that support. So like generally all browsers support CSS3. All browsers support it. It's not like some years ago, few years ago, when it was just, you know, that few browsers support it. But right now all browsers support CSS3. So you can install anyone that you have on your system. Is very okay. You can install anyone, so it's you are good to go. So and by the way, you should know by now, as I've told you earlier, so you should be familiar with HTML. So you should know some of the tools that we need for this project. So now that we have known how to make CSS, now we are going to work practically on it in a jiffy. Let's see the syntax of CSS. So the syntax goes like this. We have the selectors, declaration, properties, and value. So now the selector is what reference the HTML elements. So the selector is used to reference the HTML elements. Why can you see the declaration and property is the attribute of the selector. So what styles you want to give to the HTML element. So for example, now I want the font family of every text that appear on my website to be Verdana. So I will use this font family, then the value, which is Verdana. So I can use others. I can use, you know, if you are familiar with Microsoft Word, you should know many font family like Bookmark, Oster, Arial, so many others. So I can use Verdana. So the font size is 9pt. So the property right now is the font family, while the font size is 9pt. So let's see a clear explanation of this. So now a CSS rule has two main parts, which is the selector and one or more declarations. So that means you can have more than 20 declaration in a single selector. So now this selector is h1. Then you have set the color value. The color is property, and the color right now is the property. Then the value of this color is blue. So we have many colors. So now the color right now we affect the text inside this h1. So we are in the h1 elements here. So now font size is the property, and then the value 12 pixels. So if you notice here now, so the color, there's column here, and then it's very close with semicolon. So for that means for every declaration there must be a semicolon closing it. So that this means that okay, this declaration ends here, so another one can begin. So you must always end it with a semicolon. So that is semicolon here, you know, you might have an error in your code. The selector is normally the HTML elements you want to style. So that is the selector. You have other selectors though. So now each declaration consists of a property and a value, just like what we have here now, the color and then blue, which is the value. The property is the style attribute you want to change. Now each property has a value. That is, for every property there must be a corresponding, you know, value for it. So, and mind you, so if you notice now, all this, the declaration is being put inside a curly bracket, just like this now, inside a curly bracket. So you should note that. So this is just the syntax again, and see the way it is. This how it should be written, you know, in the formatted way. So the selector, then curly brackets, property name, property description, which is the value, then the semicolon. So mind you, remember property description is the value, then property name. Alright, so selectors now. I'm going to explain this in a jiffy. So let's dig into the practical aspects. But as I said earlier, I want to break down this video so that we don't have it bulky, you know, so that you can always pause and then go and watch the next video. So this will be the first video. I will stop here and then continue the next video. Bye for now.